We have a special guest musician today, Sheba, so we're going to enjoy her music, and she's got some CDs. And let's take a moment and join consciousness, and let's say our opening prayer. So, Great Spirit, we give thanks for all these wonderful people, these divine spirits that have come to celebrate their divinity and be together as we worship and as we remember that we're made in the image and likeness of God. And so we are here to create on planet Earth with our eyes and our ears and our pens and our computers and our feet and our hands. We give thanks for all the world leaders. We know that they are listening to wisdom and guidance and their higher self, and that they are taking action based on that guidance. And that action is good for one global family that is sustainable, that has enough to eat, that has housing, and that has opportunity for all. We hold all the children in the world in our prayers. We pray that all their needs are met. We pray that they feel loved, that they are loving, and that they have the potential to reach their full divinity and their full God realization. We give thanks for the teachings of our elder brother, Jesus the Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Welcoming, diverse, prayerful, transformational, abundant, joyful, empowering. Our statement of being: God is all, both invisible and visible. One presence, one mind, one power is all. This one and is all is perfect life, perfect love, and perfect substance. I am an individualized expression of God. I am ever one with this perfect life, perfect love, and perfect substance.
Hello. Good morning. You had to tell me to say hello. Let's have some fun.
Welcome to Unity Spiritual Center. My name is George Neal, and it is my pleasure to serve as platform assistant today. Thank you for joining us. Unity Spiritual Center is our spiritual home where we know, love, and serve God. Through our prayer and meditation, our Sunday celebrations, our classes, and community. And we certainly appreciate the talents of our musical team today. Now please stand and join us in singing the Joy Song. The words will appear on the screen, they already have.
When I hear this song, and you'll, obviously a lot of you know it, it's so uplifting, so full of joy, and of course, when I think of that, I think of Judy. So I'm thinking of Judy when I do this, so bless your heart, Judy. Something is occurring, something new is stirring, something of the Spirit blesses me today. Energies are swarming, totally transforming, something of the Spirit blesses me today. It's a special day, it's a special day. I can feel it deeply in a special way. It's a special day, it's a special day. I can feel it deeply in a special way. Knowledge is provided, I am being guided. Something of the Spirit blesses me with light. I have perfect leading to the good I'm needing. Something of the Spirit blesses me with light. Everybody, it's a special day. It's a special day. I can feel it deeply in a special way. It's a special day. Yes, it is. It's a special day. I can feel it deeply in a special way. I accept my blessing. Through it I'm expressing something of the Spirit, glorious and good. Every trouble ceases, all my joy increases. Something of the Spirit blesses me with good. I can hear you. It's a special day. I can feel it deeply in a special way. It's a special day. Everybody, it's a special day. I can feel it deeply in a special way.
Wow. If this is your first time with us, welcome to Unity. We're glad you're here, and we appreciate your wearing a name tag, as we all do, so that we can get to know you by name. If you would like a guest packet and you haven't already received one, like this, please stop by our Welcome Center desk right outside the sanctuary after the service, through that door. Our Welcome Center volunteers are happy to answer your questions and give you information about Unity. You are never alone on the road of life, and you're not alone here. And I can attest to that. There will be more time to greet each other after the service and enjoy refreshments in our community room across the lobby. But also, the bookstore is right off of the community room, and they're having a 20% off sale today, so stop in the bookstore also. But now it's time for our community greeting. That means for Vitamin H, and we are a hugging community.
But I want to share another piece of this forgiveness. I, like many of you, have in-laws that we don't particularly care for. And I have one that actually lived with us for about 14 years. And we didn't like each other from the very beginning. Now, 14 years ago, I didn't know anything about Unity spiritual principles. And even during my time here, I still was dealing with a lot of resentment and hate and just a lot of bad energy towards this person. About 2 years ago, and I won't go into details of what happened, but it turned out that this person is now in a nursing home. And of course, I was joyous and jumping up and down for that. However, I still hung on to all the negative energy, the judgments, the anger, all of it, any negative adjective you can put to it. And it affected me, and it affected my relationship with my partner, and it made for a pretty bad situation. I'm here to tell you, if you haven't gone through some forgiveness stuff, do yourself a favor. I recently decided that it was really important, because I'm a very loving person, and thought I was pretty good about forgiving. But about 2 or 3 weeks ago, I decided that I'm just going to surrender and face that. And without anybody egging me on, including my partner, I went to the nursing home with my partner. Her mother did not expect me there, okay? And all I did is I walked in with a big smile on my face, joy in my heart, knowing that who I was looking at was a child of God just like me. And there was nothing negative about what had just happened. It was actually the most joyous, fulfilling moment. And as much animosity as the two of us had for each other for such a long time, we actually hugged each other, and there wasn't a lot said, but it was just that moment. Let's just say that. And it was just such a release. So anyone out there who is holding on, and we're human, if you're holding on to any of that stuff, forgive. It's not worth what it does to you. It's not worth what it does to the people that you're around. Always be in a state of love, in a state of understanding. It's the most freeing thing I could have ever done in my life. And I've done it twice in the last 6 months with 2 situations that I really need to let go of. So bless you all. Thank you.
big belly breaths into your lower chest and then into your upper chest. And as soon as we do that once or twice, we immediately slow down and feel more relaxed. And as we do that, let's take the daily word today and Donna's message on forgiveness into our meditation time. Forgiveness is easy. We just give it up. We just surrender. We see the face of God in everyone. We know everybody is doing the best they can. And if you've got the deck stacked against somebody, let it go. The only thing it does is restrict your electromagnetic energy, causing disruption in your body, which then sets up an area for dis-ease. So today and this week, let us really bring to mind, ask Spirit, ask Guide to just bring forth anything that we're still harboring and really just say a prayer and let it go. Let's have a few minutes in quiet. And as we gently and easily bring our attention and our awareness back to this time and place, we give thanks for anything that's come to us or will come to us in the days that come. And we give thanks that as we just let that go, that we become really lighter as spirits and more able to do God's work here on the planet. Amen. Our oath of manifestation. I accept and give thanks for my unexpected good, unexpected money, unexpected love, unexpected kindness, unexpected generosity, unexpected offers, unexpected prosperity, coming in unexpected ways from unexpected places in my life and the lives of others. I am constantly guided and wholly empowered to receive the lavish abundance of the universe. I accept the principle that abundance and prosperity have already been given to me. My acceptance makes it real and opens the space for manifestation to rush in. I open wide the doors of my consciousness to receive and give. It is done now.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Sheba, and I go by the name of Sheba, the Mississippi Queen. I'm a blues singer. And so I was born and bred in Mississippi. So on my CDs out there, which I have blues, so if you like the blues, take me home and hear some of those ones and say, well, she's all right.
How you feeling?
How I feel? I'm feeling good. Yeah. I'm feeling really good. Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life, and I feel it. I'm feeling good. Rivers running free, you know how I feel. Fish in the sea, whole world, it's a new world, it's a whole world for me, and I'm feeling good. Hey, I'm feeling good. Yes, I'm feeling good. Oh, stars when you shine, you know what I feel. Stand up the fight, you know how I feel. Freedom is mine, that's how I feel. It's a new day, it's a new dawn, it's a new life for me. It's a new day, it's a new dawn, it's a new life for me. It's a new day, it's a new life, it's a new life for me. And I'm feeling, I say I'm feeling good.
All right, well, I already bought a couple CDs because I was afraid they all be gone. And what I'd like to see is Sheba and Hector and Eddie Watkins come and do a concert for us. Yeah. We have to make that happen. Let's see some thank yous for people who worked in the ministry this week. Jody Spires, Denny, Steve, Laura Lee, doing a great job with the choir. Donna doing a great job song leading. Hector, God bless Hector. We're so good. And all the people that are helping in hospitality, even the ones that don't like working in hospitality. But everybody knew if we just took a turn, if we all just took a turn, it would be okay. So. Sure. Yeah, all the people that have helped in hospitality, stand up. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. And a couple of announcements. Let's see. We need a couple, one or two detailed-oriented volunteers during the summer to copy music. So we have all the procedures for all the teams so that if one of us exits the planet, we know kind of how to pick up. And it occurred to me that all our music is at Hector's house. And so we would like it to be, copies to be here too. So he has agreed, it's taken me a couple months to talk him into this, but anyway, he has agreed to portion his music to us every week, and then we need somebody to stand at the copier and copy it. Some of the sheets are attached, so it really does take some detail, and he wants it back perfectly. He's already told me that, and I've guaranteed him that it will be. So if you can do that, there's a sign-up sheet at that activity sign-up table. I'd appreciate it. And there's a thank you card. Cheryl and the Brunos have done just an incredible job with our landscaping, and the Brunos donated a lot. We have a thank you card for them. They're away till September, so we have to keep up the weeding, especially before they come right back. So if you get a chance to sign it, that would be great. And make sure you pick up one of our July bulletins if you don't use electronic devices. And Judy Frid, Reverend Maria is going to do her service. We don't know when, but as soon as we do, she'll be here. Reverend Maria, not Judy Frid, but she'll be here in spirit. And it'll be great to have Reverend Maria in our sanctuary. And I think that's it. So I have two jokes. One is from Don Mayenbrock. And Don Mayenbrock, God bless him, he made a dish rack for us for when we start using real dishes. Yeah, I mean, wonderful. So this is one joke submitted from him. The first lady, a long-suffering widow with a deep contempt for the game, was talking to a professional golfer at a White House reception. Can you imagine? A deep contempt, I don't know. So what prompted you to take up golf as a career, she asked. Well, I suppose because my father was a professional golfer, the pro answered amiably. Well, tell me then, what would you have done had your father been a criminal? Inquired the first lady. In that case, ma'am, the golfer smiled, I'd have become a politician. And we have no children here, so there's another joke I read that I got about 11 o'clock last night that I thought was really funny. So this guy's looking for somebody to help him sell equipment. And this young person comes in, doesn't have any experience, but he's got a lot of enthusiasm, so the guy figures, well, what the heck, I'll try this guy out. So at the end of the first day, he says to the kid, how'd you do? He says, well, you know, I made one sale. And the guy goes, look, if you want to stay here, you got to like make 20 to 30 sales every day, or you just can't stay here. And then he feels a little sheepish about, you know, knocking the kid down. So he says, you know, how much was your sale? And the kid says, $101,000. So the sales manager said, well, what did you sell? He says, well, a guy came in for fishing hooks. And so I sold him some fishing hooks, and I asked him what kind of poles he had, and, you know, it was really time to upgrade the poles. I asked him where he was going, and I told him, you know, it'd really be better to get a better boat. So I took him down to the boat department and got him a Chris Craft, nice top-of-the-line boat. Then I asked him how he was going to pull it, and he really didn't have an adequate vehicle to pull it. He said, so, you know, I took him over to the truck department, got him a new nice truck. Sales manager says, wow, he came in for fishing hooks and you sold him all that? And he says, no. He says he came in because he was buying his wife a box of tampons, and I said, look, dude, your weekend shot. You might as well go fishing. Humor is at its best when it is got that surprise ending that just catches you. Oh, gosh. We have these cards for you today that have the first stanza of the longest version of the original Prayer for Protection with the Silent Unity telephone number on the back. And these are for you to keep in your wallet, so over the summer, if you're with somebody that you feel could use this card or use the Silent Unity number, you can feel free to give them to this. Okay, so now we are ready, I think. Okay. So why are we studying these world faiths, these world religions? Well, because it's fun to be curious. You know, don't you want to know why men wear those little hats or women wrap their whole bodies in scarves? Don't you want to know what goes on in a temple or a tent or in that particular home? Because when we start studying and become aware of other faith paths, it really changes us. It changes our thinking. You know, Unity is very big on appreciative inquiry. And one of our first assignments in ministerial school was in one quarter we had to go to 6 or 8 different religious services to expose ourselves, to learn, to appreciate other religions. And you know, I personally can't honestly imagine my life without some of the sweat lodges I had attended with Native Americans, without fasting and dancing the Sun Moon Dance with my Hindu friends. When I had a service project up at the Hopi Reservation, I felt so privileged to learn how they take care of their infants, and when someone stops breathing, how they prepare the body and get them ready for their next life. And it was a great honor to see those Hopis come out of their kivas after they had been fasting for 4 days and dance and not sweat and be in an altered state of consciousness. I enjoyed celebrating Hanukkah candles right along with the Christmas tree for many years. My partners parents were very concerned about their grandchildren, but the grandchildren loved both Hanukkah and Christmas. And I can't imagine my life or the effect that it's had on my life of not reading the works of the Eastern saints when I was in my late teens and early 20s. You know, for a lot of us, those books just came into our lives. And then I took up Kundalini Yoga in my 20s and did it to my 30s. Now I do a different kind of yoga. And I give thanks for my roots in Catholicism and being surrounded by not only my parents, but my friends' parents, my teachers, my mentors. And the one thing I'll say about them is they always did the right thing. They always did morally and ethically the right thing. And I learned about the Baha'i faith when I had Baha'i neighbors. So it doesn't mean we agree with every aspect of somebody's different faith path, but what it does is it exposes us and it makes us realize why it's important to them. And I think it's very liberating and freeing to not be so constrained with just one path. That's all that you can let in. You know, it's like just using one part of your mind. So we're, as we have reviewed in the last couple weeks, we're at a crisis right now. We're at a crisis environmentally with personhood, and we have communities in crisis. And they're not just challenges, they're crises. So today we end our series. We've had the primal phase, and then we had Asian phase, the monotheistic phase, and then today we have the liberation phase. What is the liberation phase? So the liberation movement shows those disempowered by a secular, a broken, disjointed age may, through the varied struggle, show the impulse toward the sacred in fresh ways. And they may represent those who are on the margins of society or who feel like they're on the margins of society. And so what are some of these paths? Well, there's what you would expect. Racial equality, men's liberation, women's liberation, the ecology groups, the 12-step groups, the peace movement, gay liberation. The original racial equality group was a group called CORE, which adopted the influences and the teachings of Mahatma Gandhi, so they were very peaceful. And where are we in our society with racial equality? Well, it depends who you ask and who you read. The people who have been tracking it historically for a couple of decades and have their PhD in the stuff, we haven't moved very far. The men's liberation movement, that began in the 70s, and that was men getting together saying, you know, we don't want to be in a straitjacket for how we're supposed to be. We don't want to just be a success symbol. And that was a movement that died early, within a decade. However, it did birth men's support groups, and it enhanced their relationships about what they could talk about with one another. And of course, we all know what the women's liberation, the 12 steps. These are all groups that are moving towards wholeness. So that is the goal. So this is interesting. We don't know much about the millennials, but 16 to 24-year-olds, 49% of them identify themselves as other than heterosexual. Now, how many people knew that in here? Yeah, I did not know that. So I thought that was interesting. So it means, you know, you wonder, and I haven't done enough reading, so I don't know the answer to this, but I just pondered the question, well, does this come out of they don't want to be straitjacketed into different, you know, just the little icons that we have, you know, the bathroom icons, they don't want to just be that there are many, it's like, sexuality is on a total continuum. It's not just one male, one female. It's on a real continuum. And so some of the terms that are used, the LGBTQ. Now, when I first saw the Q, and then there's the Q+. Sometimes you see the Q+. Well, I didn't know what that meant. So lesbian, gay, bisexual, transsexual, queer, and plus means those that are in the question. And of course, the doctors, researchers, scientists, the medical community, I think the ones that are leading the world in that are the ones in Holland, who give the children who show an impulse towards the other sex, they stop their hormones, they let them go through puberty, and then they give them the hormones of how they want to be. So a couple of the terms that you saw on this slide, I had to look them up. So pansexual, a person who experiences sexual, romantic, physical, or spiritual attraction for members of all gender expressions and identities. And gender fluid is a gender identity best described as a dynamic mix of boy and girl. A person who is gender fluid may always feel like a mix of the two traditional genders, but may feel more man on some days and more woman on other days. So I thought that was very interesting. So I think this helps us with our attitudes about people that are on the margins. It will help us as we talk to our grandchildren, our great-grandchildren, for just this awareness, because you know they're not going to say anything to you if they feel like you've got sort of a rigid mindset about it. But I know I'm in a couple weeks going to see some nieces and nephews in their 20s, and I can't wait to bring this topic up at dinner. Really looking forward to it, because I know I'll get a great education. Plus, I know it'll just embarrass the hell out of my brother. So, you know, we want in unity, we want everybody to, why do we do this? Why do we embrace all religions? Why do we stay open? Why do we care that the millennials are, you know, they don't determine themselves as either male or female? Well, what we really want is we want a world that is awake. And to be awake, it means everybody gets to give the gift that they came here to give. And if they feel held back by a societal rule or law that says, I'm odd, I can't give this, then they don't really contribute their gift in its fullest. And so we in unity, because of the name unity, we say that everybody counts or nobody counts. And many theologians, many people believe that spiritual communities right now can play a truly instrumental role in the healing of the world. This really can happen. However, faith-based communities have to first open our minds and kind of embrace other faith traditions. And there are 4 levels of this, and you never know with Tana if they're going to come up one at a time, if they're going to slide all together or whatever they are. Okay, so the first one is, you know, you can say, well, everybody has the right to be however they want to be. And then you can open your mind a little further and you can say, and I even respect their faith. And then you can even open your mind a little further, like we had an interfaith service here, and there's many interfaith services that pray for peace in the villages area. You can actually participate in interfaith services. And then the 4th area is that we actually all get to appreciate our differences, that we realize that our differences actually enrich all of us. So healing could happen. And it could happen for our environment if we all work together. It could happen with healing personhood. Last year, minus the 49 people who died at the Pulse nightclub, was the worst year in number of deaths and attacks on the LGBT community. And this is at a time where baby boomers, there were 2.4 4% of us that were LGBTQ, and now with the millennials, it's 7.3%, so that's a bit scary. And then it can heal our broken communities if we come together. So Unity is committed to staying wide open. And that's because we, as we sing in meditation, we can see the face of God in everybody. We don't have to agree where they are. We don't have to acknowledge poor behavior, or we don't have to agree of everything that they believe in, because we know that there are many that believe in the actual literal Bible. We don't have to believe that, but we can appreciate and respect. And when we appreciate and we respect, then we can actually move into dialogue, and then we can actually move toward harmony. Namaste. Is there anybody here for the very first time? Well, we welcome you. We want to welcome you, and we want to encourage you to stay for our share dish, because we have tons of food, and we want to bless you. We love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we hold Christ in you. And now it is time in our service when we get to contribute some of our energy toward a shared, spiritually awake world. And so as we take our tithes and our blessings in our hands, we give thanks and we affirm divine love, blesses and multiplies, all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, all that I receive, and I am grateful.
What a perfect way to end the beautiful service today. This song, because we all are one. Hit it, Echo. Weave us together in unity and love. Weave us together in love. We are many textures, we are many colors, each one different from the other. But we are entwined with one another in one great tapestry. Weave us together in unity and love. Weave us together in love. We are different instruments playing our own melodies, each one tuning to a different key. But we are all playing in harmony, in one great symphony. Weave us together in unity and love. Weave us together in love. A moment ago, still we did not know our unity, only diversity. Now Christ in me greets the Christ in me, in one great family. Weave us together in unity and love. Weave us together in love.
Everybody can, you can remain standing, and then we'll bless the offering, and then we'll get in our peace circles if you don't want to sit down again. All right. as we all join consciousness up here with our wonderful ushers, we give thanks right now for these beautiful givers of these gifts. We see these gifts multiplied many times over. And we see them going out and really producing a more sacred, harmonious world, a world where everyone is waking up and where everyone realizes there is one earth and we are one family. And for this and for the blessing and the multiplication of this, with our elder brother, Jesus the Christ, we say thank you, God. Amen.